Hello everybody, I am Jerry Ross, the GeneaVlogger. Welcome back to another Professional Genealogist Reacts. On today's video, we will start the Boris Johnson Who Do You Think You Are clips from the Who Do You Think You Are UK channel. This first video that we're watching today is Prime Minister Boris Johnson traces his family history. I'm going to be continuing doing the a lot of these Who Do You Think You Are's, which will mostly be coming out on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then on Fridays, I will be releasing my DNA reaction videos. So that's a decent schedule you can expect. If you do have suggestions for other Who Do You Think You Are's you'd like me to react to, comment down below. Basically anything that's on the Who Do You Think You Are YouTube channels. Now, I'm not quite sure what to expect with this. I know that, Boris Johnson is in England. I would assume that he's of mostly English ancestry, but you just never know. His family could have been recent immigrants to England. So it'll be interesting to see, with Who Do You Think You Are, it's always nice to see the actual genealogy research and looking into the documents and things like that. But I'm not going to really say much else. Before we do jump into the video, please be sure to give this a like. That really does help me out. Also, be sure to subscribe and click that bell for notifications on future videos. But with that fun stuff said, let's go ahead and watch the video.
Like honey in Waitrose, or indeed British sherry, I'm the produce of more than one country. Russian, Lithuanian,
Okay.
Germans, French, English, loads of English, not much Scottish or Welsh as far as I know. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Boris grew up with stories of his rich, diverse ancestry. Now he's in search of the truth behind the stories. He wants to find out about the backgrounds of his paternal grandparents, who he called Granddaddy and Granny Butter. As a boy, Boris was aware both grandparents had intriguing ancestry, worlds away from their life as Exmoor farmers.
Granny Butter, we were led to believe, and it was a subject of much hilarity when we were children. We were led to believe that Granny Butter had immensely distinguished French or Alsatian antecedents. When I say Alsatian, I mean from Alsace. They weren't dogs. My grandfather was also a wonderful guy, but he was certainly less of a talker.
Boris's grandfather, Wilfred Johnson, appeared a typical English farmer, but he was in fact half Turkish. His father was Ali Kemal, a politician and journalist. Boris knows that Ali Kemal had an untimely death, but this was a subject Wilfred never talked about.
It was a mystery. None of us ever discussed Ali Kemal with him, and indeed I think there was a time, I'm told by my mother, there was a time when she vaguely brought something up about the Turkish connection, and my grandmother, Granny Butter, said, "Oi, no, you must never raise that. Never again."
It's honestly a fairly common thing in families to keep secrets. I think a lot of people know that. They've probably dealt with tons of family secrets, but it really is interesting how in, certain generations there are things that are really looked down upon and thus they're never discussed, even though they're actually quite interesting stories. Yeah, this seems like it's going to be really, really interesting.
To try to find out about his grandfather Wilfred's relationship with Ali Kemal, Boris has come to see his own father, Stanley.
Hey, hi. I'll go. All right.
Stanley has dug out his father's birth certificate, which shows that his original name was not Wilfred Johnson at all.
What date is it? 4th September, 1909. Then here his name is Osman.
Osman Wilfred.
Sex boy, name and surname of father Ali Kemal. Obviously, from this document, his surname, his name, when he started off going to school, would have been Osman Kemal.
How do you think that went down with the rest of the class then?
Well, he didn't talk about it in particular.
Okay.
Ali Kemal himself was not present at birth. He was seen going about his business. And his mother died in childbirth, so she's not there to witness it. But his maternal grandmother, Margaret Brun, appears to have
Been present at the birth?
Present at the birth. She was called, I think, Johnson as a maiden name. Ali Kemal himself was not present at birth. And she effectively, Gran, my father used to call her, brought up my father and his sister Selma.
While his children were growing up in England, Ali Kemal was living and working in Turkey. Left alone to bring up her grandchildren, Margaret Johnson decided to change their surname from the Turkish Kemal to the more English Johnson.
We take our name from Margaret Johnson, who was your maternal great-grandmother, and otherwise we'd be called Kemal.
Well, of course, it might have been a jolly good thing to be a Kemal. If I was a Kemal, I might be on the Tory A-list. In this new multicultural brain from now on, I am Kemal.
It would be very interesting if Boris Johnson took a Y DNA test. Y DNA being the Y chromosome, which is passed from father to son. So it would look at his purely paternal ancestry. If he took a Y DNA test, or his father did, if his father's still alive now, that would be really interesting to see where it traces from, because it may trace to, like a Mediterranean thing, which would actually make sense based on the family history. So yeah, this is really interesting. I didn't realize that about Boris Johnson.
Did Granddaddy ever know Ali Kemal?
Not as far as I know, absolutely not. He never mentioned having ever met his father. Is there a resemblance between them?
Yeah.
I think there possibly is, actually.
Now he's decided to travel to Turkey, where Ali Kemal was born, to see what he can discover about his life and death.
Yeah, I've been to Istanbul before, several times, but never on the Ali Kemal trail. We'll have a vague understanding about what he got up to, but we don't really know. I don't know why he was assassinated, why he copped it. I want to know what happened to him.
All right, pretty good start to this series with Boris Johnson. I think that it's going to be very interesting as things go on. From here, personally, as a genealogist, one thing that I would look into is newspaper articles, because if he was a politician, he would likely show up in newspaper articles, and his assassination is very likely to show up in newspaper articles. And those articles, well, you never know the truth, because newspapers and journalists for generations and generations, sometimes they lie or stretch the truth, or, sometimes it's complete fabrication. You just never know. It's been like that way for hundreds, thousands of years, ever since there was any sort of journalism type of stuff, I would imagine. There are people that lie. But either way, if you do find newspaper articles, you can find articles that will explain why was he assassinated, who assassinated him, did they explain their reasoning, and kind of get more into it. So I imagine he's going to find all sorts of stuff. If he's going to Turkey, he'll probably get vital records on his great-grandfather. So vital records being birth, marriage, and death records. I wonder what kind of religion he is, because depending, there may be church records available as well. In Turkey, you have a lot of different religions in that country. And, tracing back hundreds of years, especially, there's a lot going on. So I wonder how in depth they're going to go into that Turkish ancestry. Well, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to give it a like. That really does help me out. You can also click right about here if you'd like to subscribe. It is completely free to do so. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at GeneaVlogger. I'm the GeneaVlogger. See you in my next video.